What's up, everyone? All right, so finishing the third trading day here in Santa Barbara. Worst day of the week, up only $3,052. This is pathetic. Not even breaking the $5,000 mark. So today is the 12th trading day of the year. I'm up $63,000, so I'm averaging more than $5,000 a day, and it's crazy. I mean, it is day after day, opportunity after opportunity, and I'm loving it. So I'm up 16,000 bucks this week, and that means I've paid for my stay here. And this afternoon, I'm gonna get out of here and head south. I wouldn't recommend staying here, and the reason is because the internet's no good. Despite the fact that this place is really nice, the way it's set up, all of these, little like villa kind of buildings, they're all spread so far apart that they're all trying to work up some main, I don't know, wireless booster somewhere, and it's no good. So word to the wise, probably better on Friday, well, tonight and tomorrow I'll be in LA, and I'm going to be at a hotel where everything is centralized. So fingers crossed the internet is better and I don't have to deal with using my iPhone as a hotspot and trying to connect and reconnect and go through all that stuff. It's a pain in the butt, and that's what I had to go through today, and it got me frustrated before it was time to trade. When you get frustrated before it's time to trade, how do you trade? You trade like a jerk because you're frustrated. And so today I was very mindful of the fact that I needed to slow down a little bit, take a breath, get centered, not take my frustration out on my trades. I can't afford to do that. I did that a lot last year. I would, be in a bad mood and just be too aggressive trading, take 15,000 shares. Just, it's like you want to punch a pillow and you just do it with your account. You can't do that, because if you do that and you're wrong, you're going to take a huge loss, and then that just compounds your frustration. It snowballs. So, the moment you're starting to feel like I'm frustrated, I'm not, totally clear-headed, you got to be able to have that internal presence of mind to say, all right, it's time to pull back, take a breath, slow down. And so today I went a little easier, and you know what? It was for the best, because we didn't see a lot of good opportunities this morning. It was a little choppy, it wasn't as clean as it was yesterday and the day before. So we'll go over all the trades from this morning in the midday recap. After I do my recap live on Facebook, I'm going to get out of here and head to LA. So it's going to be like a 4-hour drive. Like I said yesterday, the 101 is closed because of all these mudslides. And driving on the highway, yesterday I went up north a little bit to a couple beaches. And as you're driving on the highway, you just pass dozens of trucks filled with mud, and they're bringing the mud from down that way, back up this way to dump it somewhere, and they're finding places to drop it. So it's really crazy. There's mud all over the roads. It's probably pretty dangerous for people on motorcycles, but anyways, so this afternoon I'm going to head south. It's going to be a little bit of a drive because I got to go up and then come back around and then come all the way down. Today might be a long drive. Fingers crossed it goes smoothly. We don't have any issues, and I make it to LA before sundown. All right, so with all that said, let's roll that intro. All right, everybody. So let's break it down. Today's midday market recap. This is the 12th trading day of 2018. Worst day of the week, $3,052.23. And when $3,000 is your worst day of the week, you know that you are in a strong bull market. I mean, we are just seeing great opportunities day after day after day. And today was, for sure the slowest day in more than a week. But hey, I mean, 3,000 bucks is great. So the way I've been doing my my 2018 calendar here is Usually, like a year ago, I'd write, $452.27. At this point, I'm just right 4K, 11K, 6.5K, 9.7K. Not even going down to anything below the $100 mark. Keeps the calendar looking clean. This is a Norman Rockwell calendar. It's classic. So I love these calendars. They just kind of, for me, I take a look at it. I total it up at the end of each week. I like to just have that visual. Now I use Excel also, but for me, the Excel doc, I don't, it doesn't just do it for me. Like that's much more like nitty gritty details. So like for instance, right now, I can look at my Excel doc and I can say my average winners for the last 96 trades is 19 cents per share. I'm never going to see that information on this. This is big picture. The Excel doc is like nitty gritty. So 19-cent average winner, average loser is 26 cents. And that's my own fault because on the first day of the new year, I took a couple big losses. Average percentage of success, 80%, which I love. Really good accuracy. So, today was another day, stepped into the market looking for good opportunities. And, I'll tell you guys, I was frustrated this morning. I spent the first 45 minutes of the morning trying to get myself connected to the internet. I'm staying at a really nice hotel, and the internet here is just, it's crap. So I'm right now doing this stream on my my hotspot on my phone. Don't even want to know what my data bill is going to be this month because I've been streaming all day on my phone, but whatever, I'll cover it with the profits from this week. So it's just frustrating, because internet is so critical. And it's one of those things, I know many of you guys are the same way, where when it doesn't work and you don't know how to fix it, you just feel so frustrated and powerless, and you just want to throw your laptop out the window. But fortunately, I held it together. I ended up, fortunately, having backup laptops. So I would just try to find, I've got 3 laptops here. I'm all trying to connect to the wireless signal. Some of them are connected really, really strong, 4 bars. Others have only 1 bar. I disconnect, I reconnect, still 1 bar. Disconnect, reconnect, still 1 bar. So it's like it's picking up different, probably boosters that are around here. And I can't get it to switch onto the one that's the strongest. So anyways, this morning was, I had to trade on my backup trading station, and I knew I needed to take it slow. So first trade right out of the gates this morning was on, I tried to take a trade on CNET and I didn't get filled. So the gap scanner today wasn't super impressive. There was nothing that looked really, really good. If I can pull up the gap scanner here, actually, I don't know if, out here it is. So let's go to right click, time frame, use historical date. Let's see, we'll set this for 9/15. And remember guys, I've had some people ask me if I can share my scanner settings. I share scanner settings with students that are in our Warrior Pro classes. So those are the only students who have these scanner settings. These are really, they're pretty valuable. They're my secret weapon. They're how I find hot stocks every single day. So I want our students to have them, but I don't share them publicly with everybody. So anyways, gap scan here. Leading gapper, SPI. This one I didn't like. It was a little too cheap at $1.30. Wasn't super interested in it. You could see how yesterday it was really high, and then, or pre-market it was high and sold off. So by the time the bell was ringing, it was already down too much. Live Ventures, LIVE, $19 stock. It's outside my price range. Don't like it. Next one down, ESIO, $27 stock. Outside my price range. I don't like it. Next one down, LITB, 53 million share float is a little too high. Didn't really like the pre-market chart. It would have actually been okay for a gap and go because it did pop up about 20 cents. So that could have been, with 7,500 shares, an $800,000 winner. I just didn't end up taking it. But that one, it did pop up, it just didn't hold that level. Next one down, MARA, M-A-R-A, news out of cryptocurrency, type of headline. By the time the bell was ringing, it was selling off, and it just kind of sold off and continued to drop. Next one down, GNC. Typically, I wouldn't like it, 67 million share float. However, I said I'll keep it on watch because it was the strongest pre-market. So what we see on this is that we are really holding these pre-market levels, consolidating. This is a long flag. So I was like, yeah, it looks good. John L10 called it out in the room. He said, keep this one on watch. They've got a good headline this morning. I mean, it's not our go-to float, but let's keep an eye on it. And so I said, all right, I'll watch it. So GNC, typed it in my level 2 right here and had it on watch. That ended up being my first trade. I got in with 7,500 shares at 446 and 447. And you can see here it popped up to a high of let's see. What am I looking here? There we go. Popped up to a high of 508. So it ended up doing a really nice gap and go trade. I took this as it was squeezing up. It kind of tapped the $0.50 and pulled back for a second. So that's where I got in. Sold at 59, 57, as you can see here. Took a trade on CNET in between, and that was the only one. I didn't get back. Oh, did I? No, I didn't get back in GNC. I was considering getting back right here in the 60s, and we saw volume coming in. We at like 65. I was watching this because I was like, okay, the first 1 minute candle to make a new high will be over 71. So I watched volume start to come in at 65, 66, 67, 68, and I almost pressed the buy button, but I just sort of hesitated. I think I wasn't, I don't know, the float being a little higher, I just wasn't totally sure about it. So I passed on that, but held the 900 shares I was still holding, and then ended up stopping out on them on this pullback. So total on GNC, $1,000, not bad. It's a decent trade, not a huge winner, but green is good. So next one was CNET. Now CNET we're watching partially because it's a stock that has had a history of putting in some big candles, and so I was like, all right, it's definitely something I want to try to keep an eye on. Pre-market high was right around 460, and so when the bell rang and it started to pop up, I tried to get in at 450. I did not get filled on my order, which was disappointing. So I tried to get in at 450, no fill. It tapped 480 and then pulled back. And I ended up getting in for a scalp trade at 472, 474, 471. It popped up to 480. At 480, there was a 60,000 share seller. And I was like, well, that's no good. So I put my order at 79 to try to sell right underneath him, and I filled 6,000 shares. The rest I sold at 76 and 70. So it ended up being a $450 winner, which is okay, but my target was $5. So as soon as I saw that big seller, I was like, no, I'm getting out of the way. I'm not going to hold this. It would take 60,000 shares of buying volume for that seller to move out of the way, and I just didn't see that happening. So backed out of that one for a small profit. Jumped into FNJN off the scanner. 10,000 shares on this one, being a little more aggressive on size now that I had a little cushion on the day. Very disappointing. Squeezes up all the way to a high of 265, comes all the way back down. It just did not hold up at all. So at that point, that's when I was like, okay, this is we're getting into a choppy market. Lost $200 on it. And I sort of thought, well, maybe that's it for me. I'm not sure. Let's just keep an eye on the scanners. Stopped out of that. And then we had Archon. Archon hit the scans. And this one we've traded a couple times earlier in the week because look at this big move. This is the day it went from 238 all the way up to 536. So some great opportunities on that one. I got in this morning as it was squeezing up at $3. And the thing is, it squeezed and hit 314, something like that, 310. Then it pulled back a little bit. That was on this candle right here. It pulled all the way back down to 296. And so I stopped out. and then boom, it squeezed up. I ended up saying, all right, well, I'll buy in the first 1 minute pullback, which I did. I bought right here at 20, what was it? So first trade was on Archon, in at 3, out at 312, 311, the rest at 304. And then I got back in at 334, anticipating the first candle to make a new high. Only took 2,500 shares, and it was a good thing because I lost 10 cents on it, 250 bucks. So total profit on Archon, $789. So, a small winner. I mean, $789 is a great winner, but the way trading has been in the last 2 weeks, that's a small win. Right now, that's a small win. Maybe in 2 months, that'll be a big winner, but right now, that's kind of a small winner. So next trade, and I know we're going to get spoiled with these, this type of market because it's just like, $2,000 here, $2,000 there. Next thing you know, you're up $8,000 on the day. So the last one was LEDS. Let's see, let's pull this back. I was a little hesitant on it. It pops up and is halted on a circuit breaker, right? So kind of like ORPN yesterday. And on this one, I said, well, what I'll do is I'll watch it and I'll let it pull back a second. So let's actually look at the 10-second chart on this. I like to sometimes look at the 10-second chart on stocks that moved really fast, so you can sort of see what my thought process was. Because obviously we make decisions faster than 1 minute. It's very fast. Okay, so here we go. It resumes from the halt and taps 520, was that 525? It then pulls back. And as it curls back up, I knew if it broke over 525, there was a good chance that it would continue higher. The thing with the stocks that are halted is we let them halt. That's fine, whatever. If they open, they drop down. When they come back up through the halt price, they often squeeze. If they open a lot higher, we do the same thing. Let it pull back and then get in for the squeeze back up. If it opens high and just continues to surge straight up, it's hard to get in because it's so extended. So on this one, I let it pull back, and as it started to curl back up, boom, I got in right here at 519. I wanted 7,500 shares at 519. I only filled 2,600. So I got a partial fill with small size, which was a little disappointing. It immediately pops up to the $0.50, and I sell half at 548. So I sell half up 30 cents. Remember, 30 cents with 7,500 shares is $2,000. So I missed a lot of profit because I didn't get filled. It ends up hitting 72 and then going all the way up to a high of 94. I sold at 61 and 88. 88 was my best exit. So, that could have been, this could have easily been a $5,000 day if I had gotten filled on my full order on LEDS. That really was the difference today between having $3,000 and having $5,000. And that's the luck of the draw. You place your order, but when stocks are moving really fast, the problem is my order was at 19, 21, and 21. So in a fraction of a second, it went from 19 to 25 and to 30. And yes, if I had used a market order, I would have gotten filled, but I probably would have gotten filled at 30 or maybe 32. And if I had 7,500 shares at 32 instead of 19, that changes my risk profile because all of a sudden I'm in 15 cents higher, which was 7,500 shares is, almost $1,000 or more than $1,000. So then if it dropped right back down to 19 or to 10, I'm down 1,500. That's where it's a problem. So I use these limit orders because I know if I'm getting it at 19, my stop is, the whole dollar. So that's very controlled. I understand that. Maybe my stop is 10 cents. But if I allowed market order to just get me in at any price, it would increase the risk quite a bit on that type of trade. So, that's a little bit disappointing, but finishing with $3,000. So that means tomorrow morning, I'll be opening above $100,000 in this account. Now, this is the account that I started at the beginning of the year, right around 33,000. Total profit on the year as of right now is $63,682.50. Total profit in my account that started with $583 is $399,154.68. So I'm hoping tomorrow is the day I break over $400,000, and I'll be 40% of the way to $1 million. 40%. I mean, I've still got 60% to go. I'm not quite halfway there, but I'm getting closer. I'm hoping that I cross the halfway mark by the end of Q1. So, by the end of March, I mean, that would be kind of my goal, but that would mean I need to make $160,000 in 3 months. Those are going to have to be 3 really, really good months for that to happen. This has been a great month so far, but you can't count on it being that good, because there will be times for sure when things are a little bit slower. So one of the things I encourage you guys to remember is, yes, we're having a great month right now, but just because you make a lot of money in 1 month doesn't mean you should go change your cost of living to the amount of money you made in a really good month, because there will be a slower month, maybe a month from now, maybe 6 months from now. And so these big months have to tide you over during the slower months. And then at the end of the year, you look at your average. So for me last year, I averaged, let me see if this will show me. I averaged $30,800 a month, which is great. So that's a good average. So even though I made $80,000, $84,000 in my best month, I shouldn't increase my cost of living to $84,000. I should increase it just to my average, or below the average, so you're saving money. So for me, that's $30,000 a month, $370,000 for 2017. So I would just keep that in mind, that right now we want to really try to capitalize on this opportunity, try to build up as much profit as we can, and that way when things get slow, we're not going to feel pressure. We're not going to feel the pressure that, we need to make this much money because cost of living is higher, or whatever. You'll feel like, no, I made really good money in January, February, and March. Things are getting a little slow in May and June as we go into the summer. It's all right. I can step back a little bit. I can slow down and not feel that pressure. So that's what the beginning of the year is all about, building up your cushion. All right. So if any of you guys are a little behind on your goals, or if you're red, that's okay. There's still time to get yourself in good shape. It's just a matter of studying. Learn the strategy, learn the rules of the market, and then have the discipline to follow those rules every single day. All right, guys, so that's about it for me today. I'm going to pack up my stuff and head down to LA for the rest of my trip here in California, and then I'll be heading back east over the weekend. All right, so I'll log in tomorrow morning from LA. Hopefully the internet is top notch, and I'll be able to have some really great opportunities, finish up the week with another great day. That's the goal. All right, everyone. So I'll see you all first thing tomorrow morning right here in the chat room. Pre-market analysis will start around 9:15. All right, see you guys then.
If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.